Welcome to this brief tutorial on the implied we, brought to you by the Fuller Seminary Writing Center. The majority, if not all, of the writing done at Fuller Theological Seminary is 1. Scholarly, and 2. Directed at a Christian audience. There are plenty of descriptors that many members of the Fuller community share, including scholarly and Christian, with more diverse and specific ones like educated, pastoral, etc., not to mention human. Because of this, it may seem fair to assume that you, the writer, and your reader are in the same boat. You might therefore make a statement in your writing argument such as, "We often assume that we are all alike." But wait, who are we? Are you referring to all humans? Maybe you just meant Christian humans at Fuller, which is a much more specific group. But are you referring to only North American Christians? To Korean ones, to male ones, female ones, pastors, laypeople, new converts, people raised in the church, Presbyterians, Baptists? Depending on the content and scope of your argument, these distinctions are likely vital. When you use a first-person plural point of view, you necessarily include yourself and your reader, whoever they may be, in the group. Remember that a TA may read your paper before or instead of your instructor. Are all possible readers of your paper in the same, quote, group? However you define it. If not, consider avoiding using the first-person plural altogether. Should you choose to use a first-person plural perspective, in order to avoid confusion about who we are, define us as clearly and as soon as possible in your writing. Consider the following variables, though this is not an exhaustive list of characteristics that may belong to your, quote, us. Geographical location, as general as global hemisphere, as specific as neighborhood. Temporal location, indicate by century, modern versus postmodern, etc. Ideological preferences, conservative or liberal, feminist or complementarian, etc. Denomination, Methodist or non-denominational, but also liturgical versus non-liturgical, or fundamentalist versus progressive. Ethnic identity, or gender and sexual identity. Here we have some examples of indirect and imprecise versus direct and precise. For example, instead of saying we need to consider God's preferential love for the poor, let's try to be more specific by saying the evangelical churches of suburban America need to consider God's preferential love for the poor. We have specified the characteristics that we are speaking of. Just as instead of saying God sent Jesus to teach us new ways of thinking, feeling, believing, and behaving, where the us is vague, we can be more direct and precise by saying God sent Jesus to teach all humans new ways of thinking, feeling, believing, and behaving. For more information or to work with a consultant, please feel free to visit the Writing Center.